In this video, we're going to walk through how to create a form in your Convertri page and how to link it to your Aweber account. I'm particularly excited about this video because this is something that when I first did it, took me a little bit of time to figure out some of the nuances and cost me a little bit of delay in my business building. So I hope this brings some value to everybody who watches. So we're going to start off by taking an existing landing page, and we're going to rebuild the form from the old landing page into a cloned copy. So our goal is to rebuild this form. And we're also going to add a phone number field because it's a good piece of information to collect from your leads. So in order to start off, we're going to have to create a form so we can link it to our Convertri account. So we're going to come into Aweber, and we're going to make sure that we have our correct list chosen. And then we're going to come to sign up forms. So once you're in sign up forms, we're going to create a new sign up form. The format isn't going to make too much of a difference here, or it's not going to make any difference because we are not going to copy the formatting that Aweber uses into Convertri since we want to create our own format within Convertri. So we're going to choose this simple template, but it really doesn't make a difference what you select. You're going to see down here that gives us some pre-populations of name and email. Let's just double check that. We'll keep that as full name. And then we're also going to add phone number like I mentioned. So we'll save that. Those are all the changes that we need to make within step 1. So we will go to step 2. Here we'll name the form. We'll call it free training. And then we're going to, thank you page is where the lead is going to be redirected after they choose to submit their information to you. So we're going to add a thank you page here on a URL we've already created. And we're going to enter that URL. So this is the thank you page I already have created for my list. And we're going to come back to Aweber with that URL. Let's make sure there's only one HTTPS in there. I'm going to let it open in the same window. So I'll leave that box unchecked. Below here we have some tracking information. I'm going to leave that as is. And then we're going to save our form and move on to step 3. So step 3, we're already ready to take the form that we just created and install it into Convertri. So we're going to choose I will install my form because I'll walk you through how to do it now. We're going to pick the raw HTML version, and we're going to choose to exclude the beautiful form styles because, like I had mentioned before, we're going to create our own style within Convertri. So we select and copy the HTML, and then we're going to come back to Convertri. All right, we're going to open up the cloned version without the form that I've created already. And then we're going to build the form in here. So let's start off by linking the form, our Aweber form, to our Convertri account. So we're going to click on Forms. We're going to come down to HTML Forms. We're going to create a new form, and we're going to create the form from HTML code. Let's call this free training. And then we're going to paste in the HTML that we just copied. And choose Create. And then you see that free training form here, and we're going to use that form. All right, then we can click Done. And then we're going to add our form elements into our landing page in Convertri. So we're going to come over to the left panel, and we're going to select form elements. We're going to bring in the first name field. Then we'll bring in email as well. And then I'm just going to copy this email field by selecting it, holding down Alt, and dragging the field down. The final element we're going to need here is going to be a submit button. And then I'm going to leave the boxes blank in a moment. So I'm going to add some text fields in as well that tell the subscriber what information they need to provide. So let's put a text box in above the field. Change that to white so it's visible. And we're going to call that first name. So this should look just like it did in the original form. So let's line that up. We're going to use that Alt functionality again. Let's make sure that everything's not selected. So let's undo that. We're just going to choose first name, hold Alt, and then drag that down, and then do that same thing one more time, and then change those texts to, say, email and phone number. I'm also going to add an asterisk at the end of each of these so the lead knows that those are the required fields and we won't require a phone number. So let's space these out. We're going to select all three of the text fields. We're going to come up to the multi-selection mode and we're going to distribute vertically. And then we're going to do the same thing with the actual form fields. That looks good. Let's bring it a little bit closer to the text. Okay. Then let's just check what we have for the button. So I like that text. Let's copy that over. We're going to go to button settings, and we're going to copy that text. I think I actually like it better in caps. So let's change that when we paste it in. Okay. Next, if we go back, we see that these are the full size of the text above. So we're going to make those a little bit bigger. We are going to come into positioning to do that and simply do that by typing, let's see, 480. Let's make it 500. Good. And then we'll do the same thing with the rest of the form fields. And the submit button as well. And then we'll drag that so it's in line. Good. Now, let's move it over one more. Okay. Now that we've created our form and we've linked it already to our form, we're going to save our new page with our new form in it. And in order to test this, we're going to publish it. So I'm going to publish this page. Let's call it landing test 1. Choose publish. All right, nice and quick, already published. Let's go to view this page. One more thing before we do that. We need to change these texts. So let's come back and go to element properties for each of the form fields. First, going to input properties. Like I mentioned before, we're going to take out the placeholder because we already have the text above. And then we're going to come into form field settings. We're going to assign the form field as name. We're going to make it a required field. And then let's do the same for email and phone number. So email, required email address. We're going to remove the placeholder text. And for phone number, remove the placeholder text. Make the assigned field a phone number and validation type phone number as well. And we're not going to make this one required, so we'll uncheck that there. Okay, let's resave and publish so we can run our test to make sure everything is linked correctly. All right, so we're going to view our page now that it's published. And we're going to enter some information. There we go. I think we're going to have to go back and make sure this is sending. Oh, no, it's good. It's linked to the thank you page already. Okay. So if everything is run correctly, we should now have a new subscriber in our email list in Aweber as well. So let's come back to Aweber. We're going to come back to the dashboard. I don't see a new subscriber there yet. I had 2 when I started this, so let's come into our subscriber list and see if it's been added there. And it has. Joe Test shows up. So we now have a form set up that we can use in our landing pages, and it's connected to our Aweber account. So any email list that we have set up that we want to send our subscribers, they're going to receive these now. If you have any questions or you'd like to learn more about becoming an online entrepreneur, subscribe to my page in the link below.